Right, back in. This time we're going to get the wiring back into the car. Got a new wiring harness. I've got it sort of sitting in the firewall at the moment. And we're just going to figure out what we're going to do. We're going to route it and get it all working so we get the car running again. Made a bit of a start. We set the wiring harness for this hole in the firewall. I was going to treat that hole, but I couldn't get the plug to go through there for the computer. So this hole is bigger. We might cut a bit of metal out. We'll fill the rest of that hole up, rivet that in. Because we also got to get through this yellow wire for the alternator charge return. And somewhere here, there's two wires to go. Oh, they're back inside the car. Two wires to go through. One for the temperature sender, one for the oil gauge in the bottom there. So we can either use that hole there for them, or maybe, as you might use that hole, we'll cover this bit up here on this one, and that'll make it a bit solider there. Just get a little square of metal there, rivet that in, and go from there. This is the sort of idea. Got a bit of metal there. It's not riveted in yet. We'll rivet that in later. Just a little loose just for the in case you've got to change anything. So you go run that. That's the what we got here. That one's the water gauge, oil gauge. So there's going to come from one like that. And then we've got our charge wire here. The plug, we've got a plug there in it. This is the other half of it. This is what was in the car. Some of the stuff in this car baffles me. They've got this massive wire. Yeah, two wires joined together, make it nice and thick. It's got a random wire coming off it. There goes this plug. This is the 12 volts coming from the alternator, charges your battery. And then on the end of it has the world's smallest Nava connector. So we're going to cut this probably back up here somewhere, because it was way longer than it needed to be. And we're going to put some big connectors on it, connect it straight to the battery. Yeah, some of this stuff does baffle me a bit. The next step we're looking at, white balance there, is mounting the dashboard, our pre-made dashboard, somewhere on the dashboard here. What we're looking at is we've got our little fuse box. I want to make like a bracket in this general area here so we can still like access it when we need to, but it's out of the weather, like it's underneath the dashboard, fairly well protected. But we can still take the top off, check it out. So that's going to be about there. I think we'll be able to mount our little dashboard about there somewhere. So we've got to pull this apart. This is undone. There we are. Cool, there we go. Yeah, so we'll look at, we've got a bit of metal there, so we're going to make sure we clear that on the inside here. So let's have a bit of a look. Let's undo that. Yeah, back again, it's a riveting television. So that went about there somewhere. It will clear the bar at the bottom, it'll clear where the rivets come through. Even there. Could even really, if I wanted to, let's grab our steering wheel, wherever that lives. We'll check something out. Yeah, even looking at that, with the steering wheel in, there's still plenty of clearance for your hand, so I could even go down sort of this area here. So you're not really, there's nothing there. Went there, let's have a look. Yeah, you're able to see the fan lights and the fuel lights, no worries. So I can work on that spot right there. So just sort of where it goes up, just a little bit in from the peak of that corner. Right there. Let's cut some holes. So we'll drill a hole saw hole for that switch. Let's cut the rest of it out from there and make it fit. Drilled a hole, drilled a rough guesstimate of where the dashboard's going to live. They'll say, oh, they have a nicer job than this dashboard. Well, there's nothing, so if we can not ruin it. Right, that's got it pretty close. There's an interesting looking hole. I think you're not a bit of a pain. I'm trying to paint the whole dash over the course of the repair. Only thing we've got is these ridge bits here, sort of pivoted on them, so we might have to hit them with a grinder, knock them down a bit, and then that will be that done. There we go, that's pretty flat. So we'll hit that bit of satin black paint. We'll just paint up to about there for now, just so that bit's done. And we'll try and get the rest of the paint as we go. I'll take our old rego labels off. It's a bit of a shame. Looks sort of cool. But we'll do that, and we're back next time to change that gauge over. And then this dashboard can only go back into the car. So we're in the shop. We've got some metal to make a bracket for the fuse box and computer. Also got a new adapter for the oil pressure gauge sender we got. It's the one you put the oil pressure sender, so we have an oil light and a gauge. Bought a new filter, so I'm got a bit crushed, you see there. And also, since the last time I was here, we've got the dashboard out and we've upgraded it to Fairmont spec with the wood grain. And yeah, let's look at how we're going to do this bracket for the computer and fuse box. So I think I went over this before, but I reckon, yeah, we'll try and mount it about there so we can still access the top of it. So a bit of metal off there, put it back down to there at an angle, that same sort of angle as that. I was thinking maybe, where's that test computer? There we go. Oh, there we go. We're going to get a lunchbox, a little container to put it into. I'm thinking our computer can go down this general area, because it's still sort of undercover there. And we'll put a lunchbox or something around it. We'll see what we can find, make it fit. It used to be down on the floor down there, but our pipes are sort of there now, so that's sort of out of the question. I was thinking about maybe trying to mount it like next to the thing, but it sort of gets us in the way of the pipes and everything. So yeah, we'll think about that one. Because that's about there. You still get the computer out to get it checked. So yeah, we might try and put it down on this sort of half flat bit here and go from there. So the fuse box sits that way, so I reckon with a bit of gap at the end so we can do our welding. A bit of gap at this end so we can put our bar going down on there. We can put our earth connector there. That can either go onto this bar or the bar that's going downwards. So we'll cut it about anyhow, just past that point there and go from there. So we've got something like that to go there. Might tack that in and then we'll figure out a bit to go from there down to that bar down there. And that will be our little bracket for our fuse box. So I've got a bar going that way. That's sort of solid. It'll please mount on there. We're going to put a bar from there down to there somewhere, just to make it nice and solid. And then we'll put a couple of holes in there. I shall paint this tonight. And then tomorrow the paint will dry and we can drill some holes into it and mount up our fuse box. There we go, it says our bracket. So it's a bit hot, but you know, it's going nowhere. So it cools down. We'll get a bit of hit with the paint tonight, probably red paint to match that part of the roll cage. Burnt myself doing that. And then tomorrow we'll drill some holes in it and mount up our fuse box. Then we can put our dashboard back together, and we'll go to the shops, try and find a lunchbox or something to fit that computer in, and figure out where we're going to mount that computer. So that's that for today. So we're back with some more of the video tomorrow. There we go. Not sure if the paint makes it look any better, but it makes it look red. So there we go. We've got our fuse box mounted on our bracket we made. Painted red last night, thinking, oh yeah, that'll dry. Got red paint all over me. Hasn't dried yet. Got some earth down there. Around the paint off. So we've got our new lunchbox. So just sit at the moment, but got a hole on the side there for the computer core. We'll seal that up a bit once it's all together. But we're going to put it about there somewhere. You can still get a lid off it then to get the computer out, to check the number on it. What else we got down here? Yeah, we've got there's a wire there somewhere. It says to isolator. We're going to put that straight to our battery, because this car here, the isolator actually breaks the earth wire, not the positive wire. So yeah, we had to put the earth from the isolator down to the frame there as well. Next thing we're going to do, we've got our dashboard connector there. We're going to put our dashboard back in, put our little switch panel thing in there, hook that up. We've got to put our gauges back in. They're down the floor at the moment. Got one new gauge going there. We're going to run a couple of wires to the oil sender. Found this wire here, coming to the loom, taco wire. We don't have a taco, so we'll tape that up. So yeah, next step is get the dashboard back in the car and hook up the oil light, the gauges, and the dashboard itself. There we go, we've got the dashboard back in. We've got a little dashboard here added. Next step is to put these, oh, it's a bit dark down there, here we go. Put the gauges back in. We know the gauges go in as well. It's got somewhere here, a power switch was on the dashboard. I'm going to get rid of that. That was only there due to some weird wiring issues I thought we had before. So we'll bypass that. We're going to put our oil light back in there, our free gauges back in there, and that's our dashboard done. Right, there's our dashboard back together. The gauges, we've got our oil pressure light, we got a new little control panel, replace one that was there. We've got our fuse box in, down there put the positive wires on, put some earth back onto the body. We've got our lunchbox is sitting there at the moment. That's somewhere where it's going to live. It's got a stunt computer inside at the moment. So yeah, that's the inside. The only other thing to do inside here is that black and blue wire. One of them is for the radiator fan and the other one is for the fuel pump. There we go, that's us for the weekend. We've got all the interior done as I showed you. We've got the new wood grain dashboard installed. We've got the new little control panel installed. We've got a spot for the computer, fuse boxes in, the wires and gauges all joined back up. We've got a new oil pressure gauge. So that just leaves the fan wire that I said about earlier. Now what I want to do is put the engine harness onto the injectors, that general area there, and in the engine bay there's 3 wires there to go for this oil pressure sender, oil pressure gauge sender, and the water gauge sender. And once that's done, we can put some water in it and hit the key and see if the thing will run. But that's the job for next week, so that's it for today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and we'll see you next time.